My best friend asked me to pretend to be her boyfriend at a family funeral. I said yes because that's what you do for your best friend. I didn't know it was the kind of yes that follows you home. I've known Emily Harper since freshman year of college. We met in a psych lecture neither of us wanted to be in, bonded over bad coffee and mutual hatred of group projects, and somehow ended up inseparable for almost a decade. She was the kind of person who never asked for help unless things were already on fire. So when she called me at 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday, crying so hard I could barely understand her, I knew something was seriously wrong. "My grandmother died," she said. "They want me to bring someone." I sat up in bed. "I'm so sorry. I can come with you if you want, as a friend." There was a long pause on the line. Then she said, quieter, "No, they need a boyfriend." That should have been my first red flag. Emily's family is complicated. Old money adjacent without the money. Big house that smells like dust and old paper. Generational trauma disguised as tradition. I'd heard stories. Sunday dinners where no one spoke above a whisper. Cousins who stopped existing after incidents. A grandfather who died under circumstances no one would explain. But I'd never met them. Emily had always kept that world separate. "They won't take me seriously unless I bring someone," she continued. "They'll think I'm vulnerable." "Vulnerable how?" Another pause. "Please," she said, "just for the funeral. 2 days. I'll owe you forever." I should have asked more questions. Instead, I said, "Okay." We drove upstate together the next morning. 4 hours of highway, gray sky pressing down on the windshield like a lid. Emily barely spoke. When she did, it was to rehearse details. "You're my boyfriend," she said. "We've been together for a year. You work in IT. We met through friends." "What's your grandmother's name?" "Margaret." "How did she die?" Emily's jaw tightened. "In her sleep." I glanced at her. "You said they found her in the woods." She looked startled, then shook her head. "No, I didn't." "You did. Last year, when you told me about her." Emily stared straight ahead. "I don't remember saying that." The rest of the drive passed in silence. The Harper house sat at the end of a narrow gravel road, surrounded by trees so dense they swallowed light. It looked less like a home and more like something that had grown there and refused to die. Black ribbons hung from the porch columns. The air smelled like wet leaves and rot. The moment we stepped in, I felt it, that pressure behind the eyes, like the house was leaning in to listen. Emily squeezed my hand hard enough to hurt. "Don't let go," she whispered. Her family gathered in the living room, too many of them, all dressed in black, all staring. Introductions happened, but none of the names stuck. They smiled without warmth, asked me questions they already knew the answers to. "You're staying in the West guest room, together." Emily flinched. "Is that okay?" I asked, trying to sound casual. Her aunt's smile widened. "Of course, it's what Margaret would have wanted." That was the second red flag. The funeral was held the next morning. Closed casket, no flowers, no eulogy. Everyone stood in a circle around the grave. The priest never mentioned heaven. At one point, Emily leaned over and whispered, "Whatever happens, don't correct them." Correct them about what? But she had already stepped away. When the casket was lowered, I noticed something carved on the wood. A name. Not Margaret. Mine. That night, I woke up to Emily sitting upright in bed, staring at the wall. "She keeps knocking," she said. "Who?" "My grandmother." I laughed nervously. "You're dreaming." She turned to me slowly. Her eyes were glassy. "She doesn't like you," Emily said, "but she'll accept you." "Accept me for what?" Emily lay back down and closed her eyes. "Practice," she whispered. From the hallway came 3 soft knocks. I didn't sleep after that. The knocking continued all night. Every time I opened my eyes, it was closer. From the end of a hall, outside the door, right on the wall behind the headbed. Emily never reacted again. She slept like nothing was wrong. In the morning, she acted normal. Too normal. "Did you sleep okay?" she asked, smiling as she poured coffee. "No," I said. "Your house is haunted." She laughed. It sounded rehearsed. "Don't be ridiculous."
At breakfast, her family spoke about her grandmother in the present tense. "She prefers her tea weak," her uncle said. "She hates strangers," her cousin added, glancing at me. Emily kicked me under the table when I opened my mouth. After breakfast, Emily pulled me aside. "I need you to do something tonight if they ask." "What?" "Agree." I stared at her. "Emily, what is going on?" Her face crumpled for half a second, then it smoothed over. "She was very traditional, about relationships, about legacy." "Legacy of what?" She swallowed. "Please, just trust me." That afternoon, I explored the house while Emily was with her family. Every mirror I passed showed me standing slightly out of sync with my reflection. In the West guest room, I found an old photo album under the bed. Pictures of Emily, as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, each one with a different man standing beside her, all labeled consort and dated. Every date ended the same way. That night, the family gathered in the parlor, candles lit, curtains drawn. Emily's aunt cleared her throat. "It's time to ask Margaret if she approves." My stomach dropped. Ask her how? Everyone turned to look at me. Emily took my hands. Her palms were ice cold. "She needs to know if you're willing," she whispered. The candles flickered. The knocking began again, this time from inside the walls. "Willing to what?" I asked. "To stay," her aunt said. "Forever." The floor creaked behind me. A voice, thin, dry, wrong, whispered my name. Not from my mouth, from my chest. I don't remember agreeing. I remember waking up alone. The West guest room was empty. My phone was gone. My clothes were folded neatly on the chair, except for the ones I'd arrived in. Those were hanging in the closet, older, worn, labeled. I ran for the front door. It didn't open. Every mirror showed me smiling. Behind me, Emily's voice echoed through the house. "She likes you," she said. "She thinks you'll last." I finally understood. Emily hadn't asked me to pretend. She had asked me to replace. The knocking stopped because the house didn't need to ask anymore. I'm writing this from the guest room. Emily just knocked 3 times. She says dinner's ready. And I think I've been here longer than I remember. I didn't go to dinner. That was my first real choice since arriving at the Harper house. And it was the one that proved to me this place doesn't punish you right away. It waits. Emily knocked 3 times, just like the others had before her. The sound traveled through the walls instead of the door, vibrating in my teeth. "Dinner's getting cold," she called softly. I stayed silent, crouched by the bed with my back against the wall, staring at the closet. The clothes inside were wrong, not just old, familiar. A flannel shirt with a burn mark on the sleeve I remembered getting during a camping trip in college. Jeans torn at the knee from a fall I'd taken years ago. I didn't bring those here. They already had them. Emily knocked again, slower this time. "You don't want to upset her," she said. "She's been patient." The bed creaked. I wasn't touching it. When the knocking stopped, I waited another hour before moving. The house had gone quiet in that way that isn't peace, just attention redirected elsewhere. I slipped into the hallway. The walls were lined with framed photos now. They hadn't been there before. Men standing beside Emily, always beside her, always close but never touching. Different faces, same posture, same hollow look behind the eyes. Each frame had a brass plate beneath it. Consort, 1987 to 1994. Consort, 1995 to 2002. The dates overlapped. None of them ended with a death year. I reached the end of the hall and found a door I hadn't seen before. Narrow, warped, nailed shut. Someone had scratched words into it. "Stay useful." From behind the door came a slow, wet breathing sound. The next morning, the house pretended nothing was wrong. Emily acted like we were still playing our roles. She made coffee, asked if I wanted eggs, kissed my cheek. Her lips were cold. Her family avoided eye contact, except for Emily's aunt, who watched me with open curiosity, like I was a puzzle she had already solved. "You didn't eat," she said. "I wasn't hungry." She smiled. You will be. After breakfast, Emily pulled me aside. I need to explain, she said. I laughed. It came out broken. Yeah, you think? She didn't look at me. She doesn't let us leave, Emily said. Not really. Not until she's finished. Finished with what? With us. She finally met my eyes. There was real fear there, and guilt, and something worse, relief. She chooses someone to anchor her, Emily said. Someone living, someone loved. Loved by who? By me. I stepped back. You set me up. Emily shook her head violently. I didn't know it would be you. I swear. She usually picks strangers, people no one will miss. Then why me? Her voice dropped to a whisper. Because she